know, for the period of the strike, what that meant was that quite movements and loading were delayed by about 2-3 days.
Stay calm. No cause for fear. Increase in price of cooking gas artificial. NNPCL assures.
As experts in the economy, you know more than the average citizen that the stability in our foreign exchange market is not accidental.
31st Nigerian Economic Summit opens in Abuja. Nigeria also open for investment.
With this vaccine, our children will be protected against 2 deadly diseases.
Nigeria targets 100 million children in Africa's largest integrated vaccination exercise. It's always a pleasure to have you join us on the Network News on NTA. I'm Naja Atutujani, and tonight with me, Adiola Kamia-Akere joins us from Lagos. On our usual segments, sports and business, Ayo Makinde and Musa Abubakar. Let's begin with sports. Ayo, what's happening? What should we expect?
Well, the beautiful thing at this moment is the Super Eagles camp is open in Polokwane as the bid to win the last 2 matches and qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup in the USA, Canada and Mexico.
All right, then we look forward to the details. Musa, what's happening in the world of business?
It's all smiles for investors as equities market continues in positive trajectory.
Well, I like the sound of that. Remember that this broadcast is also being streamed live on our website, nta.ng/live. You can follow us across social media. Our handles are always displayed on the screen. And now the news in detail, beginning with President Bola Tinubu's return. Yes, the president is back in Abuja after a 10-day working visit to Lagos. The presidential airplane landed at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport at 6:55 Monday evening. The president, who left Abuja on Friday, September 26, attended the coronation of the new Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Adeolu Ladoja in Ibadan, before proceeding to Lagos the same day. While in Lagos, President Tinubu engaged with key investors, including Bayo Ogunlesi, Chief Executive Officer of Global Infrastructure Partners, and Kim Bello Osagi, former Chairman of United Bank for Africa, and Etisalat, and now Chairman Metis Capital Partners. On the eve of Nigeria's 65th anniversary of independence, President Tinubu visited Imo State to inaugurate projects executed by Governor Hope Uzodimma and also unveiled a book authored by the governor, chronicling 10 years of APC governance in Nigeria. After addressing the nation in a broadcast on Independence Day, the president later inaugurated the renovated National Theatre, now renamed the Wole Soyinka Center for Culture and Creative Arts. President Tinubu equally visited Jos, Plateau State, to attend the burial of Mama Lydia Iwada, the mother of APC chairman Professor Ntawe Yitwada. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has described the slight increase in the price of cooking gas as momentary, assuring Nigerians that the price will soon return to normal, all things being equal. The Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPCL, Bashir Ujulari, gave the assurance while speaking to State House correspondent Musbau Danwahab after an audience with President Tinubu in Lagos. The GCEO updated President Tinubu on the progress being made by the company in terms of oil production performance.
We recorded about 1.68 million barrels per day of oil production last month, which was very good. That was the first in about 5 years in terms of milestones. We also recorded the highest gas production at about above 7 BCF per day again, which is also the highest in recent times. But what we're also expecting is that with some of the turnaround maintenances that we've done in the month of August and September, all of those are meant to come back this month. And we are hoping that before the end of the year, we should at least be clocking at least 1.8 million barrels per day, all things being equal.
He also spoke on the federal government's effort at resolving the tussle between the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengasan, and the Dangote Petroleum Refinery, which earlier affected oil production and distribution as well as electricity.
So since then, we've been able to return quite a number of the production back to status quo. There are one or two areas where we're still trying to catch up, but overall, we are gradually gone back to restore the lost production and the deferments that we have as of today.
Nigeria has experienced a bit of increase in gas price. How about that? How is that been addressed?
Yeah, so the increase you saw was relatively artificial because, you know, for the period of the strike, what that meant was that quite movements and loading were delayed by about 2-3 days, right? And because of that, you see that impact. As things return back to normal, it takes some time for distribution to be fully restored. So that delay, and of course, as you know, with Nigerians, people take opportunity. With that delay, some of the people that have existing resources and reserves had to put up the price. My expectation is that now that things are back to normal, prices should return back to what they were before the strike.
President Bola Tinubu says his administration established the 200 billion naira intervention fund to support micro, small and medium enterprises and manufacturers, not just to assist them, but to boost competitiveness and address structural challenges. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, the president stated this when he declared open the 31st Nigerian Economic Summit in Abuja. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Jibrila was there and now reports.
This is the 31st National Economic Summit holding in Abuja with the theme, The Reform Imperative, Building a Prosperous and Inclusive Nigeria by 2030, leveraging technology to drive labor and to unlock full potentials of Nigerians.
As experts in the economy, you know more than the average citizen that the stability in our foreign exchange market is not accidental. It reflects deliberate choices guided by the same economic logic and wisdom that gatherings such as these embody. Along with subsidy removal, these decisions have rescued our public finances, stabilized the economy, and reassured investors at home and abroad. We owe this progress to the sacrifices of Nigerians, whose patience and understanding have been the bedrock of our endurance. To them, I say, the better days we promise are already within sight.
Nigeria's economic reforms are already visible, and Vice President Kashim Shettima said the summit is another platform to expedite action in driving the government's desire in actualizing transformative results.
There is obviously the need for us to also then add local production or significant growth in local production. But the other things that government need to look at, and they're looking at them now, which is good, are levies and the way customs operate.
Areas of trade facilitation through the traditional routes on land and sea. We've worked significantly on a national single window that will be coming live in Q1. And what this means is taking from paper, from policy, into working with human beings to make sure that we give life to the AFCFTA.
Investments needed are massive, and to be able to achieve anything like the targets of a $1 trillion economy, really bold action will be needed here.
So it's very important, of course, to keep on insisting on reform that we've heard this morning on modernizing ports and internal connectivity, on establishing a single national window, modernizing custom, creating a digital one-stop shop.
And these stakeholders believe Nigeria's success depends on aligning key priorities by driving industrialization-led growth, building infrastructure for competitiveness, advancing inclusion for shared growth, strengthening institutions for sustainable impact, and unlocking investment amid global trade shifts. In Abuja, Abdulrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
In a separate development, the National Assembly has been asked to consider stripping the executive of the powers to appoint the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in the ongoing constitution amendment process. One of several proposals during a consultation with leaders of Nigeria's 19 political parties by the House Committee on Constitution Review. National Assembly correspondent Mitairi Ikpen reports.
Process to amend the 1999 Constitution continues, with the National Assembly expanding its scope of consultations to include the national chairman and leaders of political parties. The Constitution Review bills cut across judicial and electoral reforms, gender inclusion, state police, and local government autonomy.
Is our Constitution still fit for purpose? Does it reflect the Nigeria we are today? Or is it anchored to the Nigeria of a bygone era?
Security too must evolve. It must be local before it can be national. A nation as vast as ours cannot be protected from a single command post. The call for state policing is not a rebellion. It is realism.
The special seat bills represents a bold step towards correcting historic imbalances.
Constitution amendment proposals submitted by the Inter-Party Advisory Council include establishment of an Electoral Offences Commission to try electoral offenders, scrapping of all state independent electoral commissions to allow INEC conduct local government elections, and establishment of an independent appointment committee to select the electoral umpire.
For INEC to be independent, to be free from whatever influence, then to be able to give Nigerians free, fair and credible election, there's necessity that the person who is going to conduct the election must definitely be somebody who is not under the influence of the president.
Everyone needs to be carried along and their views need to be sought so that we can have an inclusive constitutional amendment.
Expectations are high that this Constitution Review consultation will transcend party lines to reflect the wishes and aspirations of Nigerians. In Abuja, Mitairi Ikpen, NTA News.
Now, the two chambers of the National Assembly are set to resume plenary on Tuesday, October 7th, after extending their annual break by 2 weeks. Among top assignments will be to receive the 2026 appropriation bill from the executive arm of government. Again, National Assembly correspondent Mitairi Ikpen reports.
After an overstretched recess, both chambers of the National Assembly will be working together to ensure the passage of critical bills that prioritize the welfare of citizens as well as address security and economic concerns, particularly the money bill for 2026.
It is better the Electoral Act and the Constitution is amended before the election season commences to make room for earlier appropriation by INEC. So consideration of the 2026 appropriation bill is also going to engage the members of the National Assembly. These are the issues that are going to be in the front burner.
And of course, there are several bills that we are equally going to progress from first reading to second reading, and there are some we are going to do clause-by-clause considerations.
Tuesday's resumption of plenary by both chambers will officially mark the commencement of the third session of the 10th National Assembly, with a sense of urgency to accelerate consideration of constitution alteration bills that are critical to electoral and judicial reforms. From the National Assembly, Mitairi Ikpen, NTA News.
The directive of President Bola Tinubu for an immediate review of the 2026 Hajj fares, Vice President Kashim Shettima has directed the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, to come up with new fares for the exercise within 2 days. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that the Vice President gave the President's directive during a meeting with management and board members of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria at the Presidential Villa. calling for synergy among national and state officials, including state governors, in streamlining and adopting a new set of fares for the exercise, and urging prompt action by all stakeholders to ensure prompt payment and timely remittances to the Central Bank of Nigeria to facilitate a hitch-free exercise.
Component is about 95-96% foreign exchange based, and the fares announced last week by the Commission were based on a very pessimistic exchange rate of 1,550. Rates have continued to improve steadily with the Naira appreciating. So the Vice President felt that if last year pilgrims paid 8.6 million based on negative exchange rate, if the exchange rate has improved, then we should also pass the benefit to them. If they apply that, we should be able to bring the Hajj fare to about 7.7 million. The final figure will be announced in the next 2 days.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is very much concerned about the Hajj fare and the welfare of the pilgrims to perform the Hajj with a very affordable amount. For that reason, this meeting was initiated. We attended it, and with the directive of the President and the Vice President, we will, inshallah, reduce it to a very minimal cost where each and every Muslim will have the opportunity to perform the Hajj.
Meeting convened by the Vice President is to reduce the amount payable by pilgrims for the exercise due to the current trend in the economy occasioned by ongoing reforms being undertaken by the Tinubu administration. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, has extended an invitation to members of the Council of State and members of the Police Council to a strategic hybrid meeting on national security and policing scheduled for Thursday, October 9, 2025. The Permanent Secretary, Cabinet Affairs Office, Dr. Emanso Okop Umobong, indicates that the meeting with the Council of State will hold on October 9, 2025 at 1300 hours 1 p.m., while the meeting with the Police Council will hold at 1400 hours or 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the Council Chambers, Aso Villa. Members are requested to participate either physically or virtually, as the high-level meeting underscores President Tinubu's commitment to addressing pressing national issues and ensuring the safety and security of citizens. Thanks for staying tuned. The measles rubella vaccine has been officially launched into the country's routine immunization schedule. First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu, kick-starting the event at the State House Banquet Hall, described the initiative as a solution, a pathway to hope, and a promise of progress. Murjanatu Adam Saeed reports that the rollout is part of a landmark immunization campaign under the Renewed Hope agenda, aimed at protecting millions of children from preventable diseases.
Presence of top personalities at this strategic meeting, but not a regular jamboree. This meeting is to unite and fight to the end all cases of vaccine-preventable diseases in Nigeria.
That is why we are here today. With this vaccine, our children will be protected against 2 deadly diseases and enjoy a lifetime of safety and protection.
The children that we vaccinate, the families that we reach, and the trust that we build in our country are what will help deliver the renewed hope promise to our fellow Nigerians and define the legacy, the health legacy of an entire generation.
From religious leaders to custodians of culture and tradition, the messages are simple and clear.
It is a very cost-saving measure, and it will enable us to expand access to the routine immunization, and at the end of the day, save more lives.
Because as we know, health is wealth, and our total commitment to ensure that we have a healthy nation.
I want to appeal to each and every one of us also at every community levels that we should continue to put the health and all the well-being of our children first in everything we do.
The flag-up is part of the federal government's effort to boost health care and fight to end all vaccine-preventable diseases in Nigeria. In Abuja, Murjanatu Adam Said, NTA News.
Similarly, Sokoto state government has launched an integrated campaign against polio, measles, rubella, and the human papillomavirus HPV to boost routine immunization and safeguard the health of children and adolescent girls across the state. Abdullahi Umar Ilelu reports.
Over 2.8 million children are targeted in the vaccination program across the 23 local government areas of Sokoto state. Flagging of the exercise, Governor Ahmad Aliyu represented assured that his administration remains committed to making healthcare accessible and affordable for all citizens. He commended development partners for their sustained support in ensuring that no eligible child is left out.
This administration is highly committed to fostering a healthcare system that is not only accessible but also equipped to provide the best possible care and support for early detections of diseases.
These problems, they are highly contagious, capable of creating disabilities in our children, and that's why the federal government and the state government has jointly made concise effort.
But it's a reaffirmation of our commitment. We all know the devastating effect of polio. It causes permanent paralysis and cripple our children.
The agency is highly committed to tackling all the issues about vaccines and viruses, maternal mortality, maternal and child health data, and other vaccine-preventable diseases.
Representatives of development partners pledge continued collaboration and technical support to ensure full implementation of the vaccination. In Sokoto, Abdullah Omar Ilalu, NTA News.
Let's talk education matters now, and the Ministers of Education and Labour and Employment have inaugurated an expanded Federal Government Tertiary Institutions Negotiation Committee. Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alausa says the committee is mandated to engage all tertiary education unions, both academic and non-academic, to advance the outstanding negotiations initiated in 2019. This initiative marks a significant departure from the former fragmented process where multiple committees engage different unions separately. The minister assures all parties that negotiations with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, and other unions will pick up from where they left off following the President's directive.
But it's not unsurmountable. You've been carefully chosen because of your prior experience, your history of commitment to this country, your patriotism, and your expertise to help ensure we keep the mandate that has been granted to us by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
I would like to salute the Minister of Education to extend our appreciation, respect to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for giving us the necessary encouragement to make sure that the education sector has taken its unbiased position.
Under this new harmonized structure, one comprehensive negotiation platform will interface collectively with all the unions. So, not just education, but labor union matters there. Jigawa State Government has reaffirmed its commitment to uplifting the teaching profession through motivation, recruitment and reward initiatives. Muhammad Musa Askira reports that the government reaffirmed this during International Teachers' Day held in Dutse over the weekend.
The chairman of the Nigeria Union of Teachers said Jigawa State Government has recruited 10,000 teachers in the last 2.5 years of Umar Namadi administration. He thanked the governor for reviving the Best Teacher Award initiative, describing it as a morale booster that will encourage teachers to deliver quality education in classrooms across the state. Themed recasting teaching as a collaborative profession, the celebration brought together educators and stakeholders who applauded the Namadi administration for prioritizing education and investing in teacher welfare. welfare.
I believe by the time the Teacher Development Agency comes on board, all our teachers will continuously be trained and retrained to be in the best position to provide quality education for our pupils and students. In line with our commitment, we will continue to recruit teachers massively, both as JTs and permanent and pensionable basis.
Speakers at the event extolled the administration's consistent support for education, noting that the state has made significant strides in improving both infrastructure and human capacity. The International Teachers' Day has been celebrated globally since October 5th, 1994, to honor the contributions of teachers to national development. Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Federal High Court Abuja Division has adjourned hearing in a suit filed by the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Naji, against the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and others. Justice Hawayelwa gave the order due to the inability of the Council to UNN and its officers to file their responses. Uche Naji, the applicant, sued the Minister of Education, the National Universities Commission, UNN, and its Vice-Chancellor, Professor Simon Otwanya, and 3 others as respondents. Naji, in an ex-parte motion, sought an order granting him writ prohibiting the university and its officials from tampering with or continuing to tamper with his academic records. The minister also sought leave of the court to issue an active mandamus compelling the university and its officials to release his academic transcript to him and asking the Minister of Education and the NUC to exercise their supervisory powers to compel UNN to do so. All formalities for the comeback of the popular drama series Cockcrow at Dawn has been completed. Abdullahi Muhammad reports that Africa's largest television network, the NTA, and partners put pen to paper, opening the pages of a renewed nostalgic drama series in the spirit of the 21st century.
And the people as they go by. It's a drama series that the beatrus of this world thrill.
And don't play any tricks on your uncle.
The soundtrack of the living legend. This studio may not have hosted the play, but its new version is being hatched here.
As you know, NTA is #1, and we would like to, as much as possible, whatever we bring on air, to be #1. So this is not going to be different, and we are going to give it all our best.
This series is still relevant, is still good for this time, which is why we want to introduce the younger generations to something that we can call a national treasure.
Beatrice the character will still be Beatrice the character.
The new brains behind the play are mindful of the fact that they have to capture the new generation and also put the older ones glued to their TV screens.
Ultimately, what we expect to serve Nigerians is a visual feast that is very visceral, very entertaining, captivating, and orally and sonically really powerful.
Reimagining the story is going to be very interesting because according to the DG, he has assigned or he has insisted that we do it in a way that attracts a whole new generation of viewers.
The document seals the deal. What follows must be a play that stands the test of time like its predecessor did. In Abuja, Abdullah Muhammad, NTA News.
A memorandum of understanding has been reached between the Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria, MCSN, and broadcast stations concerning up-to-date subscription and collection of royalties, which is the mandate of the MCSN. In line with the agreement, Bond Secretariat will forward the list of Bond member stations which are up to date to the Copyright Society. The agreement also categorizes broadcast media houses into 12 groups and royalties payable by each group calculated based on the percentage of music in the broadcast activities and estimated population area of the stations under each category. MSCN grants 60% discount for the year 2018 and 24% discount for the year 2019 to the stations in categories 1, 3 and 4. The statement says The society will not include any member stations which is in arrears of more than 1 year of the yearly subscription to bond. President Bola Tinubu felicitates with his longtime ally and Minister of Solid Minerals, Dr. Dele Alake, on his 69th birthday. The president describes his ally Alake as a dependable, consummate strategist, an outstanding journalist, and an accomplished public servant whose commitment to national development and good governance has remained unwavering over the decades. The president recalls his long years of friendship and partnership with the celebrant, noting his exceptional public communication and national development service in his ongoing efforts to reposition the solid mineral sector as a significant revenue earner for Nigeria. The president wishes him long life and more years of service to the nation and humanity. It's time to join Adiola in Lagos for more.
Thank you, Najatu. Experts are raising concerns over safety and efficacy of certain herbal products used in traditional and complementary medicines in Nigeria, pointing out that some may lack toxicity assessment, which is dangerous for human consumption. Hengino John Adams reports that they are calling on the public to patronize only those that have been certified safe by relevant authorities.
The World Health Organization, WHO, advocates testing traditional herbal medicines for safety and efficacy through its Traditional Medicine Strategy 2025 to 2034. WHO promotes evidence-based integration into national health systems to prevent harm and ensure quality care, an initiative Nigeria is aligning with. The Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, NIMA, has evaluated some herbal mixtures.
They include herbal drugs, supplements, painkillers, herbal therapy, antiretroviral herbal drug, anti-COVID herbal products.
Out of 46 herbal products tested, all were deemed safe, though the research team leader cautions that their efficacy isn't guaranteed.
Just a dose of the compound is given to the animal because we use animal model for this. A dose is given at various concentrations. And of course, once that dose is given to them, the animals are monitored every hour for 4 hours, thereafter every 24 hours for 14 days. Then on the 15 days, the animals are utilized. After that, the organs are collected, which include the heart, the liver, the lungs, and the kidney for histopathological analysis to see if there's any effect on them.
Experts are appealing to producers of herbal remedies to have their products undergo safety tests, a critical step in protecting patients. In Lagos, Hengino John Adams, NTA News.
One of Nigeria's instant noodles producers, Dufil Prima Foods Limited, through its numerous activities, has continued to put smiles on the faces of many to mark this year's World Indomie Day celebration. The Indomie train moved to a popular Ikeja City Mall, where thousands of children were given special treats. Lynn Leneke has the details.
It was fun all the way for lovers of Indomie noodles as they converged on Ikeja Shopping Mall to experience this year's Indomie Day celebration, creating bonds between families and friends from various backgrounds, featuring several activities in a bid to deepen social interaction.
I participated in the dancing competition and I won. I'm thanking Indomie. They gave me a lot of things. It was so interesting and enjoyable.
World Indomie Day celebration is a nationwide movement which aims to bring more joy and create a platform that encourages togetherness.
Indomie is #1 noodles brand in Nigeria, so we are using this medium to reinforce that statement, to make the bold statement that yes, we are still number one. We still show love to our customers. We want them to also know that we love them and we appreciate them. So that is why we are ensuring that we are using this day, we are celebrating it in a special way.
Currently, we're at ICM. For those people, for consumers coming to mall to buy, we'll give them, we have a lot of special games, gifts, music, and all that for them. Then at the junction also, we'll be there in every street. But in terms of the digital, those who are not going to be part of this, yes, from their social media apps, maybe Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, we are also live there and heavy.
Nollywood actor and brand influencer Tomike Adeoye gives insight on joining the nationwide fund.
Whatever it is that you want to do it, use the jingle, post it on social media, use the hashtag World Indomie Day and tag at Indomie Nigeria. And we're giving away 100,000 naira to 50 lucky people.
World Indomie Day celebration is one event fund seekers and consumers look forward to annually. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
We're done with a contribution from Lagos. The network news will continue in Abuja after this break.
Identifying challenges and improving service delivery to clients has taken center stage at the Customer Service Week organized by the Nigerian University Pension Management Company held at the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. Lansalo Inua reports that during the first interactive session of the company, customers appreciated 7 years of dedicated service.
With over 5,000 clients at Ahmadu Bello University, the Nigeria University Pension Management Company continues to stand out as one of the reliable pension managers in the country. The introduction of Customer Service Week was designed to foster closer interaction with clients across universities, aiming to identify challenges, address obstacles, and explore opportunities for improvement, all for the benefit of retirees and those still in active service.
Most of the issues we are having as populations in the industry is as a result of people not having rudiments, basic information about pension industry. And that is why we want to take advantage of 1 week celebration to enlighten the university community about what contributory pension stands for, its importance to the life of the workers, and the role, more especially the recent development in the industry.
What I have been going through with the Nupenco, through their services, I think is quite creditable, and I'm very happy with their services.
Every day you come to the Nupenco office, there on campus here, you will be impressed by the number of people coming there. You know, people are continuously coming even to register in Nupenco now.
You know your updates, your balance and all. They are doing very well compared to other pension schemes I've seen around.
We hold the attention of the head of civil service to kindly put their necessary effort to ensure that payment of death benefits are being paid as and when due.
A question and answer session followed, during which stakeholders explored practical solutions to common challenges. From Zaria, Lawal Salou Inua, NTA News.
It's time to join our business desk, and Musa is right there with all the facts and figures. Over to you.
Thank you, Nadra. The quest for a prosperous and inclusive Nigeria took center stage at the 31st Nigerian Economic Summit, where stakeholders converged to discuss the country's bold reform agenda. Organized by the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning in partnership with the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, the 3-day event is convening policy makers, business leaders and civil society to dissect pressing challenges and forge actionable strategies for sustainable growth.
Challenges, particularly the impact of the reform on cost of living. The good news, however, is that we are turning the corner and there is stability in the predictability in the macroeconomic environment. The next focus of government, in addition to continuing to maintain the reforms, is to also ensure that it is both inclusive and developmental.
We must unlock investment. While portfolio flows are returning, FDI remains weak. Nigeria must signal that it is open, predictable, and fair to investors.
And out to equities market, the bulls took charge at the Nigerian exchange today, pushing the market higher as investors rode on a wave of optimism and renewed confidence in the economy. It was another vibrant trading day at the NGX, with the all-share index climbing to 144,822.77 points, a clear sign that the market's heartbeat remains strong. Over 519.9 million shares exchanged hands in 35,490 deals, worth more than 14.5 billion naira, as investors showed appetite for value stocks across key sectors. The equity capitalization equally firm up to 91.92 trillion naira, reflecting sustained interest and a growing belief in the market's long-term potential. Seplat Petroleum Development Company led the gainers with 10% share price appreciation, closing at 5,917 naira 20 kobo per share, followed by AXA Mansard Insurance, Sky Shelter Fund, and Ella Lakes. On the losing side, International Energy Insurance came out last with an end-of-day price depreciation of 8.42% at 2 naira 72 kobo per share, followed by Mark Nicholas, Thomas White, Nigeria, and Baker Pence. And now to global stocks, the S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite rose on Monday as AMD shares surge on a partnership with OpenAI. Let's see price of global stocks. As business news, it's now time to pause for some messages. The news continues after.
A moment of reflection and thanksgiving for family, friends and associates of former Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Tallen, who gathered at the Holy Trinity Catholic Church, Maitama, Abuja, to mark the first memorial since the demise of her only son, Richard Adamu Tallen. Close friends and associates of the family, including the Onoye-Ncha, the 10th of Eleme Kingdom, River State, King Apollos Chu, were there to lend a shoulder to lean on. Chimdimma Undubisi reports.
At the memorial service, it was all about reflecting on the legacies of Richard Tallen, whose scandal, though deemed too soon, but his light still shines in the hearts of those who knew him. For the mother, former Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Tallen, and Richard's widow, Maria, it was a moment of mixed emotions, gratitude for God's sustaining grace, and the ache of a void that time is yet to fill.
Grieving is tough, but the grace of God has seen us through. I want to use this one-year memorial to thank all Nigerians, from the President to the First Lady.
There is hope, because right there, he's been watching over us. A series of events had happened, and we could see his presence.
Friends and dignitaries, including King Apollos Chu, the Onoye-Ncha, the 10th of Eleme Kingdom in Rivers State, stood beside the family, offering comfort and soothing words.
For those who have not known what the pains or the loss of a loved one, it's easier to tell you take heart, but it's beyond take heart. We all just owe them, the family, to pray for them, to continue to console them.
We're celebrating the life that he has spent, the little time he has spent. Our prayer is that the family should bear the loss.
It's God who created him, and God who called him has a purpose why he called him.
Richard Adamu Tallen was committed to Mother Earth at the age of 42. In Abuja, Chimdimma Undubisi, NTA News.
And on that note, we conclude the network news on NTA. Sorry we can't bring you sports update as promised, but do recall that Ayo did say that Super Eagles have already arrived in camp in South Africa for the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. That's all.